Hello, Mrs. Tessereau and my Wolf Branch flute friends. Let's see if I can answer your questions about Flight of the Bumblebee. So the first question is, your high F sharp isn't speaking really well. So one thing to consider is the flute well maintained? So there's two fingers that close the F sharp key. The F sharp key is actually this key all the way down here. So from your G key, this next key that we don't actually touch, or from your F, the key right above it is your F sharp key. So it's good to take a glance and make sure your third finger closes that key all the way, or the middle finger closes that key all the way. Ideally, both of them do just fine. Now, if this key isn't closing this key all the way, there's probably an adjustment screw that can be tightened by your teacher. So have somebody check it out and make sure that your third finger on the right hand is closing the key all the way up here, and also the second finger is closing the key all the way up there. It might just be the loose screw at the end of the post, but chances are it's an adjustment screw that you can reach either from the top of the flute or the bottom of the flute with a tiny little screwdriver. Now, to make those upper notes feel easier, I like to practice harmonics and undertone harmonics, and of course, long tones. And there's separate videos for those things that you can check out on this YouTube station. Harmonics are great general practice, helps us identify how to change the air without tensing and tightening up. And undertone harmonics are a really great way of getting those high notes to respond without tension. So for the undertone harmonic, we'll just do it on the F sharp, fingering thumb 1, 3, 3 pinky. And make sure that you do not have your thumb B flat on. So we need to use the big, wide B key, not the circular thumb B flat key. F sharp is the one weird note that cannot be played with the thumb B flat. So that's another thing to check too. Make sure you're on your B key. So fingering the high F sharp, thumb 1, 3, 3 pinky, we're first going to underblow the sound with as little change as possible. Take it up a little higher. And with no tension, take it up to the real F sharp. You'll notice the upper register is more in tune and more resonant rather than pinched and tight and covered or super duper sharp, which we tend to be. Technique-wise, in the measure that you isolated, the E, F, E can be done with the trill fingering. So you'll simply, from the high E fingering, lift your middle finger and put it back down. That'll be E, F, E. Yes, the F is a little bit flat, but when you're going this fast, it'll probably be okay. So taking just a beat at a time, E, F, E, D sharp, E, real fingerings in the D sharp. And the next beat, E, F sharp, G, G sharp, going to an A. And again, make sure you are not on your thumb B flat. Of course, it's great to be super familiar with your chromatic scale. So when I have students work on this piece, I have them do it in 5-note chunks. For example, D to F sharp, E flat to G, E to G sharp, and so on and so forth, getting more comfortable with that. So hopefully those practices will help your F sharp speak more clearly, troubleshooting in case there's something going on with the flute, or maybe you're accidentally on your thumb B flat, which I love most of the time, but just not on super chromatic pieces. With chromatic pieces, a better B flat fingering is either your first finger on the F key, or most professional flute players would use the lever, which is the tiny little key just above your F key. So from the F, there's this lever here. So your B flat or your A sharp key is actually this key all the way up here, the one that you skip. That's your B flat, F sharp, A sharp key. It can be manipulated with your thumb on the thumb B flat key, with the F key, or with that lever key. So there's 3 ways to move that key down. So practice those things. And the second question was about the buzz. So traditionally in Flight of the Bumblebee at this time, we would use a flutter tongue, which can be done by rapidly rolling your R's, or making a gargling sound. Both are acceptable ways. Some flute players sing and play there, which is also a cool effect. Or do both, flutter tongue and sing and play. In this case, I think the person who made this arrangement is trying to simplify it, and they're simply saying, make some kind of buzzing sound. So maybe you literally just say buzz, zzz, and wiggle your fingers to kind of make a sound a little bit reminiscent of the fluttering of bee wings. Happy practicing!